This is North Dakota Today.
It's something that'll be in my mind forever. The sounds and the sights and the nervousness, panic, hunger, thirst. It all goes together.
Been through enough. And no help from nobody.
But we'll make it. We'll get through it. I don't mean to cry. But it's hard. It's a lot.
Welcome to a very special North Dakota Today. We are dedicating this whole hour to help lift up Louisiana. The devastation left behind after Hurricane Ida is unimaginable, and so many people need our help.
Valley News Live and North Dakota Today are joining our parent company, Gray TV, to raise money for the relief effort.
We are one of Gray TV's 103 stations partnering with the Salvation Army in this fundraising effort. Hurricane Ida made landfall in Louisiana back on August 29th as a Category 4 storm with winds over 150 miles per hour, making it one of the strongest hurricanes to impact that region.
If you'd like to help, text IDA 51555 to make a donation to the Salvation Army. 100% of the donations will be applied to the Hurricane Ida disaster relief operation.
We want to turn now to the latest on the recovery efforts in Louisiana, where many people still have no power after Hurricane Ida, and thousands are either without water or being advised to boil water.
Long lines formed in the sweltering heat for critical supplies like food and gasoline. Rescuers are still trying to make contact with people who have not been found. Here's a story from hard-hit Laplace, Louisiana.
Amid the devastation is the desperation. Crowds and cars lined up for gas in New Orleans.
And I've been here since 10 o'clock. It's 2:30.
That's 4.5 hours?
4.5 hours.
This is time-lapse video showing a line of people waiting for food wrapping around a block hours before the food was even handed out.
Many of the life-supporting infrastructure elements are not present. They're not operating right now. So
it's why Mike Tregg, sheriff of St. John the Baptist Parish, keeps getting requests for welfare checks.
My father lives at this address in LaPlace. He's 77-year-old, disabled male.
That was a message from a man in New Jersey who wanted to know that his dad is okay. So the sheriff sent his men to go check and see.
Cajun Navy and the National Guard has not been able to make contact with him due to debris in the roadway.
And they went out to check on him.
How you doing, sir?
77-year-old John Moore was home alone with his dog Nixon.
All right. We're with the sheriff's office. Your son is worried about you because he hasn't heard from you. Would you like us to get you out? All right. Would you like us to get you out? Yes, sir. All right.
They found that Moore's house was damaged by Ida. No water, no food, no electricity, and no fuel in his generator. So the officers convinced him it was not safe to stay.
You know, I tried to be by myself, but it's okay. Here. It's 77, it's hard.
They helped Moore, who has Parkinson's, to get dressed. And before they left, Officer Joshua Mathern began folding an American flag that he found on Moore's bedroom floor. Then they all escorted him to the shelter.
We have your father. Your father's fine. We also have the dog. Your father's a little shaken up, just wants to make sure he didn't do anything wrong and he's going to be okay.
Lieutenant Jake Boudreau decided it was safer for Mr. Moore to go to the hospital.
You ready? 1, 2, 3. Apparently this is his father's flag. World War II veteran. Kind of felt wrong to leave it hanging on the ground.
And as he sat on the stretcher,
come with you.
They handed him that flag. As Mr. Moore was taken away, Nixon was taken from him because they don't allow dogs at the hospital. Now, Nixon was not going to be abandoned by that sheriff's team. Lieutenant Boudreau personally hand-delivered Nixon to the Emergency Operations Center, and he put him in the arms of Rachel. Rachel's the lady who is the manager for the Animal Services, and she personally took custody of Nixon. She's going to look after him and make sure that he is safe until he can be reunited with Mr. Moore.
Heartbreaking story.
Very much so.
A little later on this show, we're going to look at the efforts made by animal shelters in Louisiana to help protect abandoned pets.
And find out how you can help.
Hurricane Ida response crews are working in New Orleans trying to get help, and now they are from Carnival Cruise Line. The company announced that the Carnival Glory will serve as an emergency housing for frontline workers in the city. The ship will house up to 2,600 hospital workers and emergency responders, along with city and utility workers. It will stay in the port of New Orleans until it departs on September 19th.
Cleanup still continues in Louisiana after Hurricane Ida came ashore last week. Hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses in the state remain without power. The current death toll from the storm sits at 82. 26 of those were in Louisiana.
Coming up on North Dakota Today, we're going to hear from our local Salvation Army about their response efforts to Hurricane Ida. And remember, it's easy to help. If you would like to help, text IDA to 51555 to make a donation to the Salvation Army.